We're live.
We're live. Hey everyone, welcome to Chat TGR with Dan, Jake and Joe. Hope you're fantastic. It's been a couple of weeks. Hello.
Hello, mate.
How are you?
We exist. We're real.
Yeah, it's there, isn't it? The old life.
How
back.
do you mean? Yeah?
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean.
You've been away.
Yeah. I've had
How-
a great fortnight.
How was it?
Cyprus was wonderful. It
Right.
was very hot. Drank a lot of pina coladas. Played Download Festival the week before. It was
Yes.
very hot. Drank a lot of pina
Pina
coladas. Here I am now.
Start as you mean to go on.
Yeah, exactly, brother.
And Joe?
I got heat stroke during our performance.
You'll
Hang
do
on.
anything to get out a loadout.
25 minutes. I think it's a new record.
You got heat stroke in 25 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I had to give it everything, didn't I? I just might have given it too much.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know?
And of course we have Lizzie on the knobs.
Hello.
Lizzie on the knobs.
It's nice to be
Oh,
back.
you know,
Me on the burp juice.
I've just realised we need a button. We don't have a button. We
For
were going
what?
to do the pedal news thing,
Mm-hmm.
and we haven't got a button yet. So we
We've
can,
got beep 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 beep. Pedal news. Well, that's what we've got.
I'm loving
True.
the new camera angles. I know this is
Yeah.
sort of going a bit meta.
Yeah,
'cause
it's cool.
I've got a laptop
I
watching
think-
us
I
back.
do
They
like
look
it.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, good, don't they?
Quite literally watching me look at me, watching me. That's very
That's crazy.
That's meta, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm into it.
I might
I like it.
I might just zoom in a little bit more on this because this is the money.
Yeah. I've always said that.
Yeah.
That brings in
Lizzie,
the tens of pounds.
Can you just come around to this one here
Yes.
and just see? So you should be able to see at the back of it. So we've been setting this up all day because I wanted to try something a little bit different. And there's a little no, it's on the top. Don't touch that. It's around on the. It's on. This is gold. So on the front of the lens, there's a little ring that you grab. That's it, and then you should be able to just twist it a little bit. Can you see
There's a
it?
delay on this.
Can you see it? No. Okay, wrong ring.
Had a penny for every
Right.
time I've heard that.
Right.
Oh.
It's the one that's fit further back.
Yeah, it's got. We've zoomed in
You,
slightly.
that's fine.
Whoa.
That's fine.
How you feeling?
Yeah, we've gone closer.
Let's see. Oh, let's see. Let's see the.
You're gonna.
You're a little bit closer there.
Did you?
Did that go a little bit closer?
Yeah, it did.
All right, let's try a little bit more. See if we can get that to work.
Yeah.
There you go.
we
There you
go.
go. Yay!
I wonder.
That's a money
I
shot.
wonder if that was the
That's
delay
the
of
money shot.
Well done.
For you.
Okay, so there is loads to go over today. We've had, so obviously we didn't do last week, and the week before I was on my own, Dan solo,
Dan
going
Solo.
over my new
Love
pedalboard
that, by the way.
build and all that stuff, which was really fun. Introduced people to Virtual Dan, which has been fun.
Yeah, someone has actually. Nimrod has said. Wanted to comment that Virtual Dan was an awesome idea. It's helped me through a lot of questions.
Yay!
That's it.
We've
That's
so
great.
good.
Yeah, we've noticed like a decrease in emails, which is interesting.
Okay,
So it's interesting. People are playing with Virtual Dan, which is really cool.
that's great.
Yeah,
Which helps
Yeah.
you guys to get on with the other stuff that you need to do.
exactly.
Yeah. Fabulous. Oh, I'm very pleased. Okay, so let's start with you guys were away and you guys played Download.
Yes, we were the very first band on at Download. We opened.
Really?
Yeah,
You opened Download?
We opened Download.
We were the first band to play Download. in
Okay,
2005.
you've got video here of you guys
Yeah.
playing Download.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we?
Yeah, just
run VT.
Yeah, run VT.
We on Lilybet.
We on?
Yeah, let's see. There you go. So this is you at the down. Look at you being all rock stars. Oh, that's awesome.
Wave your hair,
What
I just don't
what venue was it?
It
The
was
Doghouse.
The Doghouse.
The Doghouse. I know that venue very well. Been yeah, very good.
It was.
There's Claire. It's doing a thing. That's great. And drummer Sean. Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
that's awesome.
amazing.
That looks amazing. There's Joe about to pass out from the.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it
Fabulous.
was crazy when we got met by like the artist liaison guy, and he took us to the back of the tent, and we were like,
Right.
we're at the wrong tent. This can't be right, surely. And I think we just all walked around this empty tent laughing because like this can't be right.
Okay.
The tent had a capacity of 17,000 people. And it's just that's a terrifying number to be in a big tent, and you're like,
17,000 people in the doghouse.
that's the capacity.
Oh, okay.
There wasn't 17,000 people, unfortunately.
Right.
But like, just
Next
when
time.
you walk in, there's no one in there, and you're like, we're playing this in a few hours.
Amazing.
Do you know what was crazy? Stepping like right forwards to the front of stage, like in front of monitors and stuff, and being in line with the PA and hearing your guitar through a PA that loud.
Yeah.
Because we're like on in-ears and stuff, so we're not relying on sort of the fold-back monitoring, but like it was the equivalent of like, you know, you open the oven and there's that heat. It was like your guitar like that. It was crazy.
You should hear it with real amps. It's amazing.
I did actually run through an SVTCL
My
and an
boy,
8x10.
my boy.
Because
That's why I knew there was a reason you did
they had it
it.
there, and I was like, well, I'm
Absolutely.
not gonna
Not do it.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
not do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's on the stage.
But that's, I mean, there's a whole practical thing. But I think if you guys go and do it again next year, or, you know, whatever festival stages you're on, and now you guys are sponsored by Marshall,
Yeah.
you know, which
Yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah, that happened.
That's really-
and I love some of the new stuff that Marshall's coming out with. There might be an opportunity there for you to go and give it
They've
some love.
sent us the new Mini 900s actually.
Yeah, they're cool.
They are wicked.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the combo ones behind you.
Right.
But
yeah.
yeah,
Just
we got
wish
the head
they
as well.
bought some bass stuff back. You know,
Yeah. No, I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
And me.
No, I'll
Murder
tell you
one.
why. I'll tell you why.
go on.
Because Mick is playing a lot of bass at the moment, and it's been a voyage of discovery.
Cool.
But there's a couple of things like an SVT. It's like that's the sound,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything is down from there.
Sure.
It's like but there's a couple of different versions. There's a 100-watt version and the 300-watt version.
The 300-watt version is what I had,
Right.
and it's the boy.
It's the
Is the 100-watt one with the graphic EQ?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
not
it's
as good.
It's great. It's just not quite loud enough for some of the outdoor gigs.
Yeah. The blue lines are cool as well, but they've got a very different. They're a lot more squishy.
Yeah.
Whereas the SVT-CL has got like just enough compression from the valves, but enough like weight and presence
Yeah.
that you.
And that's when you hear it as a bass sound, as a guitar player,
Yeah.
when I hear an SVT, it's like, this is a fun night for me.
Oh,
You know, 'cause
SVT
it's
is
the,
just.
yeah.
Well,
so
I
that's it.
remember depping for a band on bass.
Yeah.
And I always used to.
Did you really?
Yeah, yeah. And I remember jokingly complaining to
Well,
you
he borrowed my SVT
about what a pain in the butt it was to load the SVT in, because it's wonderful, but it's got a wheel and a roll bar, but like no side handles. And
Yeah.
obviously every gig is downstairs or upstairs. You never just roll flat into a
Yeah,
loading,
right.
do you? And I remember playing this gig through Joe's rig, and I went out to him and I was like, fair enough, I get it. Yeah, I'm like, fair enough.
Afterwards, you literally gave me a hug and went, I understand.
Yeah, I get it.
Because that sound is the same with going for a cab. There is something like ritualistic about it. It is like a completely different experience. And I find that for me, if I don't have a bass amp on stage, because of the nature of what bass is,
Sure.
I may as well just go home.
Yeah.
I need to feel it as much as I
Completely.
hear it. Because if I can't feel it, I'm like, am I right?
Yeah.
Is this? Because I'm so used to having that presence. And I think it's pretty much the same with you, right? If you can't
If I can't feel it,
if you
I
can't
just
feel it, it's really
because the stuff that I'm playing, because a lot of it is, you know, even with this 70s thing that we're doing, first gigs
Yeah, I've
confirmed
seen
in the
that.
Vic.
Yeah, I saw that,
Very
man.
exciting.
For anyone that wants to come down, the Danalogs is playing at the Vic in Swindon on the 31st of July. It's going to be loads of fun. But even with that and with those songs, there's still loads of improvising.
right. Cool.
And because that's the nature of a lot of 70s prog, you know, they were just having at it. I mean, it's very, you know, arranged and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's great. But if I am not connected, I sound like arse. I'm not one of those guys that can just pick up a guitar and sound amazing.
Yeah.
But if I'm connected, stuff will come out that I haven't practiced.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
sound
it's,
will lead me in a direction. I can't, and I've tried. Mick and I have just done a big show on 2 shows, a part 1 and part 2 on attenuators,
right.
and really great attenuators. Even attenuators, I can't do.
Interesting.
I
is
can do the attenuator where it's a quiet amp and you're turning up louder,
Yeah, yeah.
but I can't do the 100-watt Marshall crank turned down with the attenuator.
Wow.
I can do it if it goes down like 3 or 4 dB.
Yeah, but
I can't do the quiet thing. So anyway,
that makes sense though. Like, because for as long as I've known you, a loud amp is part of your sound. That is like as much as the guitar.
Yeah.
Because you're pushing that amp to a certain point, and that's
Yeah.
how you get the sound that you want. So,
and the interaction, as much as anything, it's the interaction between the way that the amp resonates in those frequencies, like, you know, Voxes and mid-range with the telly, and it sets up this sort of feedback loop.
Yeah.
And it's what I find is I've got this is my theory, right? The feedback, it starts here.
Yeah.
And then into the guitar, out of the amp, and as much as it hits the guitar, it hits here.
Yeah, it makes.
And as soon as this stops, this doesn't matter.
Yeah,
for me. You know.
Yeah.
And I've had discussions with them. We do as part of our job, we have discussions with, you know, guys who are playing in pit bands and doing those sorts of shows where it's like you've got to hit this dB level, and this is the parts to play. And I am in awe of anyone who can play like that. And for my birthday a couple of years ago, we went and saw Back to the Future.
I remember you saying. Yeah.
And he was the guitar player was amazing and did all the, you know, the disco shreddy thing.
Yeah.
He was on a Helix or something. He sounded fantastic. And, you know, so there are guys out there that can do it. And, you know, and I've heard you guys sound great and Claire sounds great. It's just not something that I can do.
But it's funny now because I feel like if I was doing a gig without in-ears, I would really struggle.
Yes.
Now I'm so used to doing that.
Yeah.
I couldn't do a gig without in-ears.
Is you get used to whatever you get used to. You know?
For sure.
Like even now, most of the time I'll play with one ear in and one ear out.
Right.
Because I want to feel connected in the room. But obviously there's like click track and stuff that's going on, so I need to be in time.
Yeah, and you guys have got all that full production stuff.
But I still always want to feel part of the environment.
Yeah.
When I'm in ears, I always feel like I'm a bit disconnected.
Yeah. And that's something that I struggle with, even just earplugs that just reduce the volume a little bit. I've start with the best intentions in the world. I promise you, with 2 songs in, they're out.
Yeah, right.
Because it's like I've got a limited amount of time that I'm going to spend playing guitar on a stage with loud amplifiers. I'm going to milk every second of it.
Sure.
Because I live for it.
Totally,
you know?
man, totally.
Okay, so anyway, that's
probably about an hour's
that's
worth
enough
of
about me.
discussion.
What do you think about me?
Right.
We've got 78 lovely people.
Oh,
with us at the
lovely.
moment.
Beautiful.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks. Who have we got on?
We have Gordon from Edinburgh.
Yo.
We've got Todd Roy. We've got Blind Guitarian. Hello and welcome back from all of us here in the sunlit paradise of East Yorkshire.
Oh, brilliant.
Nice.
Richie from Dartmoor. Neil from California. Gav Thorpe.
Hey, Gav.
Paul Matelovich.
Gav Thorpe got a new guitar today.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
What do you get?
He got. He's going to be really annoyed because I can't remember exactly what it was. It's a
Unbelievable.
VOS like 335, like a really nice like a
lovely.
6335.
Okay.
We've got Gigs and Guitars. We've got Simon. Matt from Montreal.
Beautiful.
Lots of people.
Oh, hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. So let's get into it. Let's get into the pedal news stuff, because we haven't looked at pedals in a couple of weeks, and there's been some awesome things released.
Yes.
All right. What do we got?
So we start with Behringer's newest offering.
This is
I feel like
fascinating.
Yeah.
So quickly, should we hear it and then talk about it?
Yeah,
Cool,
let's
right.
hear it.
Yeah.
Let's put a video on.
Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Right. The Murf Box.
Yeah, boy. Right.
So I used to have a bass Murf.
Right.
Had one, and it's one of those pedals that I really, really am so sad that I sold. So I've been kind of waiting for this to happen again, because I think they're amazing. If you don't know what the Murf is, by the way, it's basically a load of resonant filters that.
Keep going.
Bored him already.
Yeah,
There's no
it's
sound on the video. I'm just double checking something. Keep going.
basically there's it's a series of resonant filters. Low pass filter at the bottom, high pass filter at the top, and then band pass filters. And you basically have the ability to animate them with an envelope. So you have all these different patterns. One of the coolest things about it actually is they've added USB-C. And
Sorry,
you
that
can.
was so smooth.
It was so good. I really enjoyed it. You can basically write your own patterns now. It was one of the only things that was annoying about the original bass Murf is you had like 9 patterns or whatever it was, and that was it.
Right.
Whereas now you can put USB-C in. They've got an editor, and you can create like your own patterns. So you can animate the resonant filters in any way you want. And it's basically you've got the ability for the resonant filters to either really smoothly like crossfade,
Right.
or be really tight and almost like percussive.
Can we hear that again? Because we didn't have any sound on that video. So can you play that clip again? Because it's super cool.
A box
Volume
full
on
of
that.
analog circuitry
Yeah, good.
with rich harmonic saturation and a tactile experience is
So
something
this
you
is
know and
obviously
appreciate now.
so
But in the
command there's so much to
2000s,
get
when
into
this
with
pedal was
Behringer.
originally launched, this type of technology was
this
losing the
is
fight against a digital revolution.
the
But one
recreation
creator
of
had
Moog.
different ideas. He saw the value in analog. When photographs came along, people would have been
Moog.
predicting the death of
Allegedly,
paintings,
Bob
but not
himself
the artists.
pronounced it Moog.
Okay.
They painted
Let's see. BV says he's got sound now. That's great.
Thank you,
Thanks, mate.
baby.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a really cool thing.
Another thing I just want to add quickly as well. This has MIDI in and out.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Hang on, but it's all analog.
Yeah, but it's analog and digital.
It's Chase Bliss analog. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, you explain it.
So to be fair, they did release 3 versions of the Murf. There was a bass Murf, the OG Murf, and there was a MIDI Murf as well. They
Yes,
did release.
okay.
But this is basically like an updated version because you've got USB-C, you've got just more control basically over it. 'cause
How
you
much
can
is
edit it? I don't actually know. I don't know if they've released a price yet.
USD $129.
I mean, that's just insane.
No, that can't be right.
That's just insanity.
£126 from Tommen.
Am I going to have to buy a Behringer pedal? Am I going to have to buy it?
126.
I might have to buy
Bigger
it.
in
Oh,
size.
That's I
insane.
don't understand.
126.
That's
bucks.
insane, especially
Well,
when
so-
the original Moog ones go
How
for
much I
like,
spend at Nando's.
what, like 500, 700, something like that?
Yeah, and the rest.
Yeah.
So, okay. We're going to get to some more pedals in a minute. I want to go through the Behringer thing because this is
Yeah.
all, since we announced it on the, well, not announced, since
Clongate.
we announced it.
Did we break the news on it?
Breaking news.
Since Clongate, and we were talking about it, there's been developments, but it's been a really hot topic.
Yeah, it's really interesting though how it developed. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know about you. I wasn't expecting it to go the way it has.
No. So,
I'll get the pictures up 2 seconds.
yeah, so basically what happened was, everyone's released clone clones. Actually, one thing we didn't do, which we will talk about in a minute, is the Manus from Keeley,
Oh, yeah.
which is the new Keeley versions. But so here we go. Let's go over to the laptop and we can see this is the
So this was the production one. This
this
is
was
what
the
they came out
production
with.
one, right, from Behringer. This is the Centaur Overdrive, and then
They've just come out with the Centaura Overdrive.
so this is what Behringer could be a force for good in the world,
yeah.
right? Absolutely. Things like the Murf and there's a bunch of things that they're giving people access to that are no longer in production, right?
They say that as well in that video. If you watch the whole thing later on, they talk about how the price skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons. And totally respect you're making that technology accessible. That's wicked.
But they are calling it the MIDI Murf. They're not changing the name equally.
Or the
Okay, so
just being pedantic. Do you see what I'm saying?
Murf Box.
Right, the Murf Box.
But
Murf Box.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, but if we go back to the original, right? So that is the graphic and the name of the original in a box, which is unmistakably original. Obviously, it's like half the size.
Yeah,
but there's no, for me, there's no creativity here.
Agreed.
This is a cash grab, plain and simple. Let's grab some cash. That can be said of lots of people who have released clones, and now go to this one, right?
Yeah,
They've gone, okay, let's just call it the Centaur. Can you go back to the first one though?
Yeah.
Right. Here's what's really interesting. Check this one out, right? Check it out. There's the name. There's a horsey. Go back to the new one.
He gets jacked.
What? No. Stop. Right, stop. Go back to the old one.
All right, yeah, okay.
Go back to the old one.
Yeah.
Right, look at the top of the pedal.
Oh, I see.
Go to the new one. He's branded it Behringer.
I didn't notice that. That's super interesting.
Right?
What I also think is interesting, I just noticed, if you look at this, there's like dirt. Oh, it might be on my screen. That's hilarious. Ignore me. That's so funny.
It's actually got a
there
dirty
was
screen.
like a bit of dirt on there, and it was the
That they
same
transferred
image,
across to the first one.
photoshopped, Yeah.
No,
But
that's brilliant.
That's just me not cleaning my screen.
So he's branded it Behringer and called it the Centaur.
Yeah.
Right? Now, can you just
Yeah, there's no brand at all. Very
please bring up the Keeley Manus?
Mm-hmm.
Right? As far as I'm concerned, this is how you do a clon. Right? Robert Keeley, genius and very dear friend. You know that thing that we've been messing around with, turning a transistor, using it as diodes, because that's what basically a transistor is, like a pair of back-to-back diodes. Yeah. Go to the front of this. Right, can you zoom in on this?
Oh, right.
Right. So yeah.
Scroll.
And grab it and pull it down for us. There we go. Okay, so we've got the stock with the switches in the down position. You've basically got a stock clon, right? G diodes and stock bass response.
Yeah.
If you want a little bit more bass, as so many people do, you click the bass up.
Mm-hmm.
But if instead of the GE diodes, you want to use a germanium transistor, right? A Roche compliant germanium transistor as well.
As a diode.
As a pair of diodes, that's what he's done. So you switch it into that position, it gives you more compression. It takes and it takes a bit of the woofiness out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You turn up the gain, turn up the treble a bit. It is killer. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's how you do a clone.
My whole thing with clones is, if you don't get me wrong, there's when you look at like tone benders, for example, there's like another sub industry of pedals that are just, this is a Mark 1.5 tone bender or whatever.
Sure.
That's one thing. But in the modern day, I think clones are fair game as long as you do something that
it has
makes
to be a creative step.
Yeah, if there's a creative step, then I'm fine with it. But when it's just like that Behringer pedal that they've now changed it to be what it is now, you're like, why did you not just do that in the first place?
But you know the other silly thing with the Behringer pedal, the pre-lawsuit Behringer clones are now going for silly money.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
It's funny. I really had not taken in the fact that the lawsuit ones don't have any Behringer branded on them. It's really interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Yep, that's right. It's
That's
just
so
like
interesting.
So they do on like the Murf, for example. It says it up here.
Yeah, most of the time they're pretty upfront with it.
Yeah.
Sort of how you
But it
brand
is interesting that they tried it without any branding.
Yeah, very interesting.
with the original graphics, calling it.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Put the name on it, made the horseman jacked, and it gave him like a spear opposed to
A sword or whatever.
Yeah.
Upgraded
So
his
what are
weaponry.
the people saying about the cleanliness is next to
That that
like
was
this?
incredible. That was a happening. Cleanliness
cleanliness.
is next to
cleanliness.
But Daniel has said, to be fair, it's a fantastic sounding pedal.
All the clones are fantastic sounding pedals.
It's a great circuit.
It's a great circuit. It doesn't. I'll tell you why it sounds fantastic, because it's all about the design of the circuit, not the. There's no secret transistors from 19. I mean, any good set of germanium diodes sounds great in that circuit. Yes, the proper diodes have a thing. They really do, but it's a great sounding circuit. So yes,
it's such an interesting circuit as well. Like
so interesting.
Wadey 1960 has said they did the same to a degree with the fuzz bender. I believe Robert said in a chat when it was released he had the trademark on the name since way back, but trademarks end at the border for the US.
Okay.
Interesting.
And Robert Keeley's just joined us in the chat.
Oh, hello. Greetings, sir. Beautiful human.
And Simon said Behringer did go too far, and now Jake is getting obsessive on the horsey man's muscles. Whoa there, Jake.
Envious of how cut he is.
I've got a couple of questions.
Yes,
Do we
let's
want
go.
to
Let's go.
just do some of those? From Stephen Decker, I know the removable panels on the side of the gig rig pedal boards are a good fit for the Synco. Is there any chance of offering a power panel with IEC and power switch in the future?
Yes, there is. Not only that, also PowerCon connectors.
Yeah.
So these are things that you'll be able to buy as accessories for the pedal board. Yeah, very, very cool. A guest loops.
Yeah.
Guest power as well. So you'll be able to plug in a
like DC
little
connector
DC connector from the Gen X or whatever into it. So you've got a guest power.
That's tidy.
Yeah. So we're absolutely doing that. We're working on that now. Thank you to everyone that's bought a pedal board as well.
So sick.
And you know, we're shipping them out, and we've got over the hump now. And thank you all for your patience. But yeah, and everyone that's written in who's really enjoying them. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm
Well, it's
stoked
just-
to see them like loaded and stuff. It's really cool.
It's
amazing.
so cool that we took the leap into that and people dig it.
Yeah.
Because it's the fear, right? Because everything else we've done kind of makes sense.
It's a departure.
This
for
and
us.
this is like the departure, but people dig it, and that's
You know what's funny though? Well, not for Lizzie. But it's certainly been funny for me. Is that I've been working with metalwork designs for 20 plus years. Thinking, oh, this is just an extension on metalwork designs. Oh, no, it isn't.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole brave new world when you get into something, the sizes of this, but it's complex. There's a lot of parts to it.
yeah.
The science of also I've found with the prototyping process, the science of like where you need to reinforce stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, I would have broken a prototype. I take it back to them and they'll go, oh, we'll just put this on there. And I'm like, you've added like 3 mil of this and like a little weld joint. That's going to do anything. But it's crazy, like such a small thing can make all the difference.
When you get into, you know, it's one thing to design a little box and fold it. It's like, but actually when you get to the bigger stuff, you need people who are experts. And the guys we've designed it with are fantastic.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
They really know their stuff.
They're wonderful.
Yeah, so yeah, shout out to Steve and Mike, who won't be watching this.
Yeah.
Because
and Jez.
And Jez.
And Jez.
What a superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's great. Well, Lizzie.
Yes, so Paul has said, what would you rattle off as a quick pro-con list for the Gen X 14 versus the modular stuff? Where do you use each?
Okay. The Gen X is a wonderful solution if you have a big pedal board and you got a lot of pedals and you need, it's like straight out of the box, it just does it all.
Literally, I was going to say, if you've got a bigger board, it makes sense. If you've got a really small board, it's kind of overkill.
Yeah. The modular system with a small board, half a dozen pedals, it's perfect.
But also, don't forget that they're compatible. So if you started out with a modular system, you can integrate that into the Gen X 14.
Correct.
I think a lot of people think they're like super separate.
Yeah, no, they're still part of the
compatible.
modular system, yeah.
Or I've done massive boards that's the link out of one Gen X into another Gen X and done it with 2 Gen X's on like really big boards.
Yeah. That's
but equally, a modular system can power a pretty large amount of pedals, not quite as many
massive.
as the Gen X 14, but it can still do lots. And it kind of depends on, for me, it would be like say if you're obsessed with electroharmonics and you've got loads of their 24-volt
Exactly.
pedals.
That's the other thing I was going to say. If you've got the strange voltages and they're a majority of your pedals, and then you need Electroman, like, the voltage adapters, that's where the nature of the small ones comes in. Yep. Cool.
And just one more at the moment from Brian Carpenter. With a QMX8 and more than 8 pedals on my board, would you recommend having all pedals in a loop, even if partnered with another pedal, or should I just leave some out of QMX at the end of the chain?
It's a great question.
So contextual.
That's exactly right. It completely depends on how you're using your pedals.
Yeah.
It depends on... So one thing that can work is having a tuner at the input and using that as your guitar input. Depending on the bypass state, if you might have a Boss tuner that you like, and it depends on whether you like the buffer in that or not. That can work great. If not, the send on the first loop and have the return sort of grounded. But you can absolutely have more than one pedal in a loop. And I've seen people do this, and it's really cool. They might have 4 different sounds. Sound 1 is a compressor into a slapback. That's in loop 1. Sound 2 is a lower gain overdrive with some reverb. That's in the next loop. Sound 3, high gain overdrive, different reverb and a delay. That's in loop. So you can absolutely build your sounds like that and just switch between them. That's really fun. So the best thing to do, try it out. If you're, try going to your tuner at the front. If that frees up things, you can absolutely put more than one pedal in a loop. It might be that you have your delay loop if you've got 3 delay pedals, and have them in there so you can kick on your delays, and you set up the delays depending on the song. Set them up before you kick on the delay loop. All depends.
Yep.
Ping us an email at support@thegigrig.com.
Yeah,
and we'll go through it.
Or a chat with Virtual Dan.
He's
He's quite handy with that stuff. And he's dashing as well. He's a dashing fellow.
I keep asking him to give me a pay rise, but he won't do it.
He won't do it.
He won't do it.
He's tight.
Yeah.
He won't give me one either.
Nah.
So, yeah. Okay, so where do we get? So we've done the Behringer thing.
Right, next up, we have something that really excites my new metal Grebo kid.
Your new metal
thing.
Grebo.
So I'm going to show the people first.
16-year-old me is so excited. Hats. I'm too hot.
I like a little beanie, personally. Teeny
Okay,
weeny beanie.
take us through this. Digital Bath by Deftones.
Yes. KHDK that have done like a bunch of signature pedals. Like they've did like the Kirk Hammett like drives and stuff. Have come out with the Digital Bath. So there's a band called Deftones.
Yep.
That
we know Deftones.
Very famously have this sort of filtered modulatory sort of slapbacky sound.
Right.
That we were just hearing
this on the song.
Yeah,
Digital
someone
Bath.
covering Digital Bath with the pedal, and they've basically emulated that sound within the pedal.
Right.
And it's really cool. And supposedly it was the biggest thing that they had ever done. It had taken them like 2 years to get there and get the sound completely nailed in.
It's so interesting working with artists like that. So we've had KHDK stuff on the show before.
Yeah. But it basically emulates Deftones.
It's like, so Robert Keeley's in the chat, obviously. You have a chat to Robert Keeley about how long he worked with Andy Timmons to get the Halo. It's a thing with if you're working with an artist who isn't after a cash grab, who's like, oh, whatever, I don't care, just put my name on it and we'll get some cash out of it. If you're working with an artist who really cares to get the sound right, it takes a long time.
Totally.
Yeah, because it's so specific. And
they're putting their name on it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know, and that's like Deftones to put their name on something.
Yeah, doesn't happen often.
No.
They've like Steph, their other guitar player, has a signature guitar, and I feel like that's it. Maybe a signature pickup set as well, but short of that.
Did he do a Fishman one?
Yeah, he was with EMG for a long time and then to Fishman. But yeah, what's really cool about this as well is the first 150 ordered comes with a certificate of authenticity signed by Chino, the singer of Deftones,
wow.
also plays guitar. So
Wicked.
I think that's really cool.
That's great.
And it says in the write-up, like, Deftones Coachella performance has sort of gone viral, that set, and he was using it on that set and stuff.
Oh, amazing.
So, like, it's in his rig, which is awesome. That's really cool.
And what do they retail at?
They are $249 US.
Very nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
It looks great too. That's a great design.
It does.
Very cool. Very cool.
Cool.
Beautiful. Okay.
Cool. Next up.
I can hear Lizzie ripping paper off and just
Sorry, there's a lot of questions today.
Okay.
Oh, really?
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been,
Right. Next up is
the collector emitter.
the Rainger Effects Razor Fuzz.
Collector emitter, was that the channel? Oh, okay. That's cool. I'm so sad. David Rainger is my hero. I know, I don't see it. Listen to this thing. And look at the angle of the box. That is not a strange camera angle. That's the box.
In the
So just take this, that the Fuzz is a really awesome sort of heavy fuzz, but then it has this thing called the pick. Is that what it is? Pick attack?
Yeah,
So it's a mixture of a digital and analog fuzz,
So
right?
it's a digital plectrum
Right.
and an analog fuzz.
Okay. And what's the plectrum doing?
So you've got a bunch of different modes. So you've got a white noise. So
Yep.
basically, when you play a note, you get a small enveloped sample of white noise.
Nice.
Or
He's done that in the flanger as well.
Yeah.
So cool.
and then you've got one called metal, which is a randomized, almost sounds kind of like ring moduli
Okay.
kind of bell tone that randomly changes pitch every time you hit a note. So you get this weird little like jingle jangle thing. And then there's a
I can just hear David going, this is what the world needs.
Yes.
and then you've got, is it called slow metal or long metal?
Metal long.
Metal long, which is the same thing, but the envelope's longer. So you hear this like longer bell that happens every time you hit with your pick.
Right.
And then the last one, you've got that oscillator that you can tune to a pitch. So every time you pick, you get like this short blip of note. And it's insane.
Awesome.
And it's
Well,
just very Rainger, right? Where it's
so
like,
for all of you that don't know,
I mean, look at that.
David Rainger is a genius. He makes some of the most unique effects pedals, certainly that I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of them. We had him on the show, great guitar player. He started off designing stuff that he wanted to hear on when he's doing sessions and things. But can you please bring up a picture of the drone Rainger?
Yes, absolutely.
It's so okay. So check this thing out, right? So this will give you an idea of the creative level that David operates at. So if you just go back to the front of it, right? So there isn't a right angle on the box, but can you zoom in on that for us?
Oh, what, between the foot switches?
Between the foot switches, there's an open section of the circuit board.
If you look here,
And the circuit board is done like a city. It's like a street and street lights and buildings and
Car roundabouts and stuff, isn't it?
it's
these little surface mount resistors are like cars in a car park.
again. It is unreal. I mean, and as a delay, and the artifacts and stuff that goes on it. So I think he's one of the most creative designers out there today. I'm in awe of the guy.
His chop fuzz, Claire uses in the studio, and it is just whenever she needs something unique, that's the first thing she reaches for because it is so weird in the best kind of way. But you can sculpt it in such an interesting way. It's not just like pure noise.
Okay, awesome.
Just glorious.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really weird, so I love it.
Right, we're at 42 minutes.
All right, so listen.
I have one more pedal I want to talk about.
Okay, one more pedal, and then I've got a message from Lee Anderton. Oh. So I haven't seen this yet. So, but we'll get into that.
Okay.
Okay.
Mysterious.
Tension, Jake and Joe. You are cancelled.
And Robert is also asking. He missed the start of the video,
right?
And he wants to see your video again. So we'll finish the show with you guys.
Yeah, make sure the sound's
download.
Yeah. Right. Okay. The fourth pedal I really want to talk about is the re-release of the Dirt Transmitter from Earthquaker Devices. They've done a re-release with Rancho de la Luna, which is a recording studio in the States that famously is like the Queens of the Stone Age desert studio. I mean, I got the Wikipedia up here of people that have recorded there, and Arctic Monkeys, CKY, the Desert Sessions, Dave Grohl, Eagles of Death Metal, like the list
goes on.
Iggy Pop, Josh Freese, awkward. Yeah, just you name it, PJ Harvey. But so they've re-released the Dirt Transmitter in like collaboration with like a special artwork for it. Mm-hmm. So shall we hear that?
Yes.
Just said, "Oh no,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to."
Yeah, it's very me in a fuzz pedal.
That's awesome.
And the whole like longer video, it might be this video actually. They've put out 2 videos, Earthquaker. Jamie says that he found out that Keith Richards is using a Dirt Transmitter for this Satisfaction guitar tone.
Can you receive that for us that I've just sent to you?
Exactly. I can.
Thank you.
My only concern is we're not going to be able to hear it, so the people are going to hear it, but we're not going to hear it.
I'll play it. When you're playing it,
so we can hear it fine.
We can hear it.
Okay, right, well, I've got...
Is this message approved?
Well, I haven't seen it yet, but no, we're not going to go there yet because that's part of the conversation that we're going to have.
But yeah, that is just under £200. It was like 189 maybe at Anderton's.
It's officially the final run of it because they've run out the components.
Oh yeah,
really?
So I definitely need to get one.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, sounds very good. I'm probably going to order one this evening.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, lots of really, really cool things, and lots of fun things. So,
shall we show the people? I'm dying to know what this Christmas present is.
Okay. Lizzie, when we play this video, if you could mute the mics so that I can play this video so the boys can hear as well, then we'll discuss it.
Cool.
Okay.
Right. So what we're going to do, we've had a couple of massive retailers go under.
Yeah.
Namely GAK and PMT.
Yeah.
These are retailers that have been around forever, and it's sort of a lot of people are sort of shocked.
Yeah.
So as part of the research for today, I reached out to Lee Anderton.
Right.
And I just asked him, because we deal with retailers, very few, and the retailers that we deal with are specialists. But I've known Lee forever, and he's been great for us. And I asked him what it takes in today's modern everything, Amazon, direct, what does it take to be a successful retailer in today's crazy world? Okay, so if you play that, and then Lizzie, if you can mute the mics.
There is an old saying that if you want to make £1 million in business, start with 2 million and open a music store. I do slightly jest, or do I? So how do I give advice on how to start a music store? I mean, if you've had some experience, first of all, you must have some experience, I think, of working in a music store. If you're incredibly passionate about that and you want to go yourself and you've got a modest budget, modest amount of capital behind you, I would certainly suggest that, trading in used gear, very niche, unusual brands, supplement your income with repairs and teaching and things like that. But stay small, stay focused, avoid getting yourself into debt, that kind of thing is good advice. If your dream is to have a music store full of all the aspirational kind of brands that you're going to see in an Andertons or a Guitar or Thomann or whatever, then you just need a lot of working capital behind you to really buy into those brands deeply. And then it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of investment in infrastructure. Honestly, it felt to me like Andertons had probably been going for 30 plus years and reinvesting profits year on year on year before it really felt like we had the kind of working capital to play in that space. But there we are. So I'm not saying don't give it a try, but I think being small and happy and reasonably profitable is better than being large and stressed and loss making like some businesses have been recently. That's it. There's my advice. Sorry, it was more than 30 seconds. Bye.
Still going for a little bit. They got us done on that one.
Okay.
Time in.
So amazing. So our dear friend Lee with some advice there for anyone looking to get into retail. So how does that pertain to what's gone on with GAK and with PMT?
PMT, yeah.
So GAK and PMT were sold, right, around the same time. And what sorry, I'm just getting okay, right. What, as far as I can tell with the research that I've done, post-COVID, sales had gone crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody was reporting record
Crazy
years when
sales.
Fender and stuff had the
Right?
greatest.
If you were in a business that had crazy sales and at any point you were looking to get out and sell the business, that was the time to sell the business. And so from what I can tell, PMT and GAK sold their businesses after the COVID
Boom,
thing.
yes, the numbers look great.
To venture capitalists. Mm-hmm. And when you do that sort of thing, you have to make money because they need to see a return on their investment.
Yeah, of course.
Right? And it's large amounts of cash. So what has also happened in our industry, and talking to any retailer about this, is the margins have been squeezed. Gibson selling direct, Fender selling direct, Boss and Roland now have their own store in London. We've been doing the direct thing since we started because our stuff, it's all made in England. I've got two amazing young ladies who work day in, day out putting them together. All the solder machines over here, and it's all done in the UK, put together and tested by hand. You guys looking after the customers, Lizzie and Laura and Lisa doing all the stuff that they do, looking after all the people and the ordering, all that sort of stuff. But we've kept it very tight, very contained. And to do that, though, even with the small amount of people that we have, it is eye-wateringly expensive to do it the way that we do. So the only way that we can make it work is sell direct.
Yeah.
Right? Now, when there is such a thing as having, mass making and selling, making thousands upon thousands of these things to go out into retail space. But even those guys, the profit is being squeezed. And we've seen recently with TC Electronic, they've just sacked all their engineers. I think it looks like TC, I don't know if TC is no more, but they were massive. At one point,
they were the biggest, weren't they?
They were the biggest pedal seller in the world, outsold Boss.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
And now that it's like we've moved on, and you can see how fast things move on.
Yeah, it's insane.
So one thing about staying small is that you can be agile.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bigger the company is, the slower it takes to make decisions and move, right? So a great thing about Andertons, and Andertons are a big retailer in the UK, but they have remained agile. Lee, I mean, I couldn't tell you who the head of PMT was. I knew the guy from GAK, but Lee, you go on Facebook and YouTube and stuff, and Lee's there, and he loves it.
Yeah.
And then he goes home and plays guitar and goes, I've just discovered this thing. So,
and you're right. So as a side note as well, off of that, like if you're explaining it to someone that isn't into music gear, you go on YouTube, he's one of the main faces you see, and you go, oh, that's Lee Anderton, and they go, who's that? And you go, oh, he's a guy that owns a music shop.
Yeah.
Out of context, if you're explaining that to someone, they're like, so he's a guy that owns a shop. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why is he important? But he saw how the industry has gone and was going and completely changed with it.
So not only did he change with it though, and I think it's more, he's so into it. And he wanted to do, I mean, he was trying to get us to come on board for 10 years and we could never afford to. We kept having the conversation. He's like, I really like what you do. He's a champion of British industry.
Yeah, which is wicked.
So, obviously huge respect for that. But, we've got guys that, for the experience days that we do at that pedal show, we have people, we're very fortunate. We have people fly from all over the world to come to an experience day at TPS. One thing they nearly all say is, while I'm here, I want to go to Andertons.
Yeah.
Because it's, if as musicians, Andertons is part of our lives.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a genius marketing strategy from Lee. I don't. I think Lee's so into it. He's gone, oh, let's show how we do this.
Yeah.
And and we've all into
the
it.
byproduct.
Completely.
Yeah.
So,
but inadvertently, he then becomes like the cultural center.
yeah.
But it's not, like you say, it's not a marketing move. It's just that he's unbelievably into this and he lives and breathes it.
It's an authentic thing.
Yeah.
You meet Lee and that's who Lee is.
Yeah.
He's really into it. So all of that to say that things change. There's another massive retailer, sound
effects.
There's a massive retailer in the UK, like went bust like 20 years ago. And everyone thought, that's it. That's the end of retail.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It just shifts.
Sure.
Everything changes. And where things like, so backs went under, but they've come back.
Yeah.
And, there are, things change and things come out, like in Australia, we'd have loads of bushfires. Right?
Yeah.
It's part of our cyclical natural seasons. And you'd see it, the devastation. You go to a bushfire space 2 weeks after bushfire and all these green shoots coming out.
Yeah.
And then 2 months later, some of these areas, it's like
Nothing happened, yeah.
So sometimes these things happen, and anyone that's been affected by these things, please don't think I'm being flippant, because it's awful. And there's been times, 20 years of running this business, man, I've had brown trouser moments, seriously. And, I absolutely get it. And my heart goes out to anyone that's been affected by these closures, because you know, I do know, I remember going to PMT loads in Bristol, great people, you know, so, you know, thinking of you and hope that you're all okay. As far as the industry is concerned, to be more specific to what we do, pedal-wise, pedals are still selling, you know, lots of great creativity and lots of people in this industry for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Because they love it.
Yeah.
And Lee is a great example of that to me. Robert Keeley is a great example of that to me. I went and spent 3 days with him a couple of months ago. I came out of that just so charged because his enthusiasm for it is infectious.
That's amazing.
And he still loves it. Goes there every day, still loves it because you get to be creative and find new sounds, and it's unreal. That is happening in our industry. The retail thing about, you know, for starting out now, Zach from Mythos started a store in Nashville.
Oh, really?
It's just so cool, and Zach knows what he's really good at. He knows what the market needs there. He knows what hasn't been, what people can't get there, and it's doing great.
That's amazing.
You know,
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
We've got
2 minutes left.
2 minutes. Yep. Can I just run through a couple of questions?
Yes, very quick.
Go.
From Daniel, I have a question. How can I power a quad Cortex with Gen X14?
Yes.
Link up the two 12-volt outputs, and
with a current doubling cable.
or you can link the two
You don't need a
lines
current doubling
into
cable.
another and then come out as well.
Oh, sorry. You mean yeah?
For the
If
Gen
you-
X14, just
Did you say his name was Daniel? Daniel, if you drop us an email to support@thegigrig.com, I've got a little diagram I can send you. But
there is a diagram on the manual though, isn't there? Or is
I
there not?
don't know anymore.
All right, so
But if there isn't, I
Yeah,
can send you
yeah.
a
If
diagram.
tell you what we'll do as well. I'm going to put the diagram on Virtual Dan, so anyone asks that diagram will pop up.
Cool. Michael has asked, is the extra large pedalboard still a possibility?
It's still a possibility.
coming.
It's so, as Jake was saying, it's really interesting when you change the scale of something and there's other things to take into consideration. But we are still working on it. We are working day and night to get the current orders out the door. That's our focus. We want to look after anyone that's gone, this is right for me. But absolutely, I want to look at, I was stunned how many people have asked for a larger pedal board. It's wonderful. And of course, we want to look after you. So we're still working on it. It's going to take a little while. That's all I'll say.
Tom Bromby, you have sent quite a large question in. If I could just ask you to email Jake and John support@thegigrig.com just so we can make sure we get all the details to you for that one.
Yes, would hate to miss something on
Yeah.
a chat like this. Tom Bromby.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, mate. We will email it in, support@thegigrig.com, and we will get you sorted.
Nimrod has said, can the evidence audio SIS connectors be reused / is it difficult?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Easy.
I've been reusing them for years.
Yeah.
You just unscrew them and do the new cable. Away you go. They're fantastic.
And last one for today. Simon said, that Fender guitar behind Dan's shoulder, what is that lovely thing?
It is my lovely Troy Van Leeuwen
My lovely
signature
horse.
jazz master. I love it very much.
What are the pickups?
It is actually, this is really interesting, this bridge pickup.
I'll be the judge of that.
There is a company called Tone Rider that make like cheap pickups
Right.
in the UK. It was about 60 quid for a humbucker, and I wanted something high output for this, and it sounds absolutely massive. So it's literally just a standard humbucker, F space.
So never call them cheap,
cover.
call them great value.
Great, incredible value. You're right.
There you go. Nothing
no,
cheap about that.
put a little cool tap
They're
on
making
that
them in
one.
the UK. Oh, that's nice.
Like that.
What's that tapping though?
This splits that humbucker into being a single coil.
Oh, it's a humbuckery
Yeah.
thingy. Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Cool.
And Joe, just to let you know, Matt from Blind Panic Devices, late to the party, just want to say hi and a massive thank you for wearing the shirt.
Honestly,
Oh, look at this.
yeah, you had to be done.
You're a babe.
You are a legend. If you missed the last show we did on pedals, go and check out Blind Panic Devices. Completely unreal. Just
Okay.
glorious.
So we're going to go. I just want to just quickly, I want to send out a massive hello to my new best friend, who I'm just sending Jake an image of.
I've made so many puns about this. I was
puns
enjoying
have been-
really irritating you over it.
So this is where I was on the weekend. Spent the weekend with this absolute legend. So that was awesome. And also, and I'll just quickly show you as well. Sorry, I know we're late, but this is the rig. So Jake, if you can please throw this one up. This is what the rig looks like. Isn't that cool? So that's on a large double, bathed in the French Riviera sunlight.
Looks terrible.
Dreamy.
Truly. I had great fun every time you were mocking up, being like, have you got the seal of approval? Have you sent him the picture to seal the deal?
Signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah, you got to drop
And
it
I was
off so you
like-
get a signed, sealed, delivered. And every time you just look so deadpan, like, stop talking to me.
I said, don't be silly.
You did.
All right, so we're going to leave you again with the clip of the boys playing Download. Thank you so much for watching. Any comments, please put them in the chat stuff, and we will get back to you. Let us know what you think of the new format as well. What did you think, Lizzie?
Yeah, I think I like it.
You
Lots of button pressing.
yes, but you did great.
Yeah.
You even managed to.
I even zoomed the camera.
You did. It was
What a
great.
day.
Proud of
What
you.
a day.
Proud of you. All right, here are the boys. We'll see you next Thursday. And next Thursday, I think we're going to do a deep dive on a noisy pedalboard and how to cure it. I think that'll be fun.
Right, I'm going to mute our mics when
All
I
right.
put this on. So
Bye, everyone.
bye.
Bye.